Hey, what's up guys? It's your host Ahi, and today for you guys I have a 2v2 gameplay, kill confirmed, on the map Erosion, and I'm rocking the Scar L. I'll get into my class setup later, because this is actually, I think, the best class setup for 2v2 face-off, and that's mainly the reason I made this commentary in the first place, because I really wanted to talk about this class setup, because it is a boss class setup. And if it's not the best class setup, please do tell me in the comment section below. And if you have any better class setups, please tell me what they are, and I'll try them out and see if they actually work. And maybe give you credit in a future video if I get a good gameplay with that. But moving on, I want to give a big shout out real quick to my friend TX Corner on PlayStation Network. And I mainly want to give him this shout out because he was a good sport about me trolling him. Actually, me and my friend Swagjack, as you may have known from my last commentary, the dual commentary that I did with him, we actually trolled this guy over the course of 2 days. And basically we told him that we were an MLG Pro gamers and that, you know, we posted these montages that got like millions of views. And he actually believed us for the first part, but then once we told him that we were just, you know, trolling him, then he was actually pretty cool about it, and now he's my friend, so I just want to give him a shout out for being a good sport about it all. But moving on, let's get into the talk about the class setup today. Now, like I said earlier, this could be possibly the best class setup for a 2v2 face-off. And my class setup today, I am using the Scar L, which actually I'm getting gold right now as we speak, because I'm actually trying to play right now too. But the proficiency I'm using on this particular weapon is Impact, which lets bullets carry more damage through materials. And I wanted to choose that specifically for this map, Erosion, because those double doors, right, like where I pointed right there, that were in the middle of the map, that support the two-story building, you can shoot through them more easily and get less hit markers on the guys, because I know a lot of people try to camp under there and above it too. So moving on, I'm using the suppressor or silencer on it, and I wanted to use that because it lets me stay off the radar, and when I'm going on long kill streaks, I don't want people to know exactly where I am. Although I am moving around constantly, I just don't like that feeling of people knowing where I am on the map. In addition to that, I'm using the 5.7 Cambo that I will whip out later in this commentary, but I wanted to choose the Akimbo attachments on this particular weapon because it reloads actually faster if you have the Cambo attachments on it. I almost said proficiency there, I didn't even know what I was thinking. But if you have it single, it will reload pretty slow if you're not using sleight of hand. So I like Akimbo because it makes it more powerful. Basically you get double the ammo, and it's just overall better and more powerful like that. The lethal equipment I'm using today is the throwing knife. Now, you don't have to necessarily use the throwing knife. It could be up to you, whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever you like as your lethal equipment. But I just chose the throwing knife because I like how it kills them instantly and on impact, versus the Claymore, Bouncing Betty, etc., which you can get hit markers with occasionally, especially if they're using Blast Shield, which is actually my second tier perk in this game. I'll get to that in a minute here. But I'm using, for my tactical equipment, I'm using the portable radar today, and I chose that just because you can throw it down in the very middle of the map and basically have a wide range of knowing where they are. And even if your friend or teammate is running it, he can throw one down on the other side of the map, and basically you have almost the whole entire map covered, and if they're not using Assassin, you could see exactly where they are. So that's really good. My first tier perk is actually Blind Eye Pro. Yes, I do have the Pro version of this, which allows me to lock on quicker to vehicles and air support, and then it gives me extra bullet damage to air support and sentries. But in this gameplay, I actually don't use the Pro part of it. I just mainly wanted to use Blind Eye Pro because I use that in a lot of 2v2 face-off maps, or not maps, but when I'm just playing in 2v2, mainly because if the enemy gets any air support, it won't see me, and sentry guns out of care packages and such, they won't see me. So I'm using Blast Shield Pro, as I said earlier, as my second tier perk, and it gives me resistance to flash and stun. That's the pro side of it. And it's really important that you have the pro part of this, because if there are two guys on the enemy team, sorry, I couldn't speak right there for a second. The two guys on the enemy team both double team you at the exact same time, then you can be, and they'll most likely throw a flash, into the building if you're sitting in the building, just to see if you're there or not. And a lot of times people don't think that the enemy would have, or I should say that for me, that I would have Blind Eye Pro on, and I don't really think that people ever use Blind Eye, especially not when particularly not when I play them. I haven't seen that. Maybe people do use Blind Eye, but I just haven't seen it that often. And it's actually really good, because if they try to flash you, you're not really flashed. So they'll try to run in, and then you just lay down on the ground, kill them, drop shot them, whatever you want. And then they can, try to throw a Semtex on you, and they'll get a hit marker, and it will barely do any damage to you. So they'll think it'll only take one bullet to kill you, then you just drop shot them, and you win the gunfight. My third tier perk is Stalker Pro in this gameplay, and I mainly like that because I can strafe the enemies, and it gives me advantage because I can both strafe and drop shot the enemy with ease. And I just drop shot those two guys in a row. And I like Stalker because I can move faster while aiming down sights too, which I think is really cool. And that basically ties in with the strafing the enemy, which will help you win a bunch of gunfights. I can't tell you how many times that's actually helped me win gunfights. And then my kill streaks, which are really important. I'm running Assault, I'm running low kill streaks, UAV, Care Package, Pred, and I like those because they're just all low, and you'll most likely get them 2 to 3 times in one gameplay if you do well. And I'm using Juiced as my death streak, but I don't ever get it. And that's basically my entire class setup. Tell me if you like this class setup, try using it, and I hope you enjoyed this commentary.